Well, there's a controversy brewing at the NOPD over emergency pay that officers expected for working during Hurricane Barry but never received.
And here with an exclusive report on the situation is investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein. So what's going on?
Well, Karen, Charisse, the controversy started when officers got an email from the police department saying that their most recent paycheck would not include emergency pay for those 5 storm days. The email stated that the money would be paid when the city got reimbursed for the emergency. The 2 largest police associations have fired off letters of protest stating that civil service rules require payment, and they're asking the city who they are waiting on for the reimbursement. Here's Donovan Livicari of the Fraternal Order of Police.
They want to have those employees report to work under dangerous circumstances, and not only dangerous circumstances for themselves but for their families, that they need to be able to count on the city to hold up their end of the bargain.
Now, I just heard back from the city just moments ago that in fact the email was mistaken. They're not waiting for reimbursement, but they're waiting for paperwork to calculate all the officers' emergency hours before they get paid. So there's still a delay. Officers are still a bit disgruntled about that, but at least we know they will get paid.
I know that some people are depending on that paycheck.
Yes.
All right, Mike, thanks so much.